Today, we're going to go through how to install a Debian/Ubuntu based operating system. We'll be right back in a moment. And we're back. Alrighty. First thing you want to do is open your browser. Type in Ubuntu. Go down to download Ubuntu desktop. Click on that bad boy. Download Ubuntu. Oop, it just kicked me back. I just ran in a circle. Whoops. I'm going to scroll down. It's early. I'm tired. I've only had a couple hours of sleep. Alright, now click on the download button on the right hand side, quarter of the way down to the screen. And it's downloading. When that's done, we'll be right back. Alrighty, and it's done downloading. So now what you want to do is go ahead and close your browser out. And I'll show you how to do it in VirtualBox first, and then we'll move on to, if you're already on Linux, this is how I do it. But yeah, anyways, we'll get to that later. You want to get your VirtualBox open. How you install that on Windows, I don't know. But we'll show you how you do it in Linux. I'll do a video on that soon. So, alright. I had an issue earlier, so we'll just go ahead and delete that. We'll start up a new one. You got to click on new. Give it a name. Type in Ubuntu, and that should pop up. Linux and Ubuntu here. If you're doing Windows, Solaris, BSD, IBM, or other, that's the type. And different versions of, distributions out there. We'll just go ahead and click on it, leave it on the defaults. Alright, here is your RAM, and we're just going to do bare minimum here. Their recommended base recommendations. VDI, VirtualBox, this image, dynamically located. Now here you want to leave it. I usually leave it on this one because it'll only take up the size that you give it. And if you only need like 15 gigs, it's only going to use 15 gigs of the size of the virtual hard disk that you give it. Alright, now here, give it a good size, bare minimum. If we can get it there. Heck, we'll just do it manually. Alright, create. Now you want to make sure that's clicked on the one you want. Click on settings, it'll drop that down. Click on system. I've got a quad core, so we'll give it 2. Move over to the display, max that out. In the terminal, you can move this up to, you can give it 256 megabytes maximum, but that's beyond the scope of this video. And this, I usually click that, enable 3D acceleration. Storage. Want to navigate to the empty CD image, move over there, that one, choose a disk file, and where we at? Ubuntu, there we go. Click on that, open. It's loaded it up, live CD, DVD. Now, unless you want to mess with the audio network or USB or share folders or anything, I wouldn't touch those. because that if you plan on using it to cruise around the internet with it, that gives an ability for an attacker to get into your VM and into your system. So I just usually leave that alone. Unless there's something I'm doing in there and I'm not on the network. I mean, I'm not going out on the internet. Like say I'm creating a I don't know, copy ISO of the virtual image, and I need to get it out of the VM. I won't mess with anything. Alright, so we're done. Click start. And it always pops up in the other window. Alright. Let's change the view. Let's go full screen with her. And away we go. And we'll be back as soon as it loads up to the desktop. And we are back. Alrighty, well, I'm going to go ahead and leave it like this because it usually jumps around between full screen and this setting when I do it, so that gets unnerving. So right here you can either try it or install Ubuntu. I'm going to go and tick the install, and I'll walk you through the process. This is the Calamares installer, by the way. Alright, English US. English US is me, obviously. And I'm going to go for a minimal installation because I'm not going to go through all the programs that they have. This is just to get you onto the, get you set up, get you going with Ubuntu. Alright, minimal. Maybe I usually click the download updates and while installing Ubuntu. That way, in the background, it updates everything, saves me time at the end. That way, I don't have to wait for stuff to, update. And here, if you got like NVIDIA or other hardware that needs third-party drivers, you'd want to tick that. Click continue. I'll go ahead and pause this, and there we go. I thought it was freaking hanging up on me again. Alright. Now, either new users, I would recommend erase disk and install Ubuntu. If you want a full installation, it being the only one on the hard drive. If you need a dual boot, you would click on the something else. But the advanced features will give you use LVM with the new Ubuntu installation, erase disk, and use ZFS. Now, if you click on either one of these, you have the option to encrypt your hard drive and secure it. But I'm in a VM, so I don't really care. Alright, click OK on that. We'll show you what something else looks like. Click continue. Alright, this is where your hard drive is. And now you'd want to partition it if you're advanced enough to do that. But that's beyond the scope, so we're going to go back and do the default. I just wanted to show you what it looked like. Now, if you're interested in learning how to do that, leave a comment below, and I guess I'll go into it in another video. Alright, write the changes to disk. Excuse me. If you continue, the changes to the list below will be written to the disk. Otherwise, you will be able to make further changes manually. The partition tables of the following devices are changed. The following partitions are going to be formatted. Partition 2 of SCS I3, L3. I don't know what that is. as ESP. I could never figure that if that's an I or an L there. And the next one would be ext4. Click continue. Sorry about that. I had to mute my mic. It was starting to fall. All right. We're in the United States, and Los Angeles was close enough for me. I'm on the West Coast here. Continue. And my name. What would be a good name? Okay. Let's do Ubuntu. I was thinking of a kind of a nasty name, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. Ubuntu VirtualBox, Ubuntu. Choose your password. Strong, difficult password that no hacker in the world would be ever able to figure this one out. Because you're smarter than they are, right? Grab my password to log in. Now, I wouldn't recommend clicking on this login automatically, because if you leave that ticked and your computer's off, somebody walks up, turns it on, it'll go straight into the desktop. I'd require a password to get in. The use Active Directory is for domains. Like if you're in an office and you have to pull files from a server or other systems, you'd want to go into that, but I'm not too familiar with that anymore. I used to be, but not anymore. It's changed. It's more updated, and I haven't really kept up with it. Alrighty, it should be installing now. Alright, well, we'll be back after it's installed. Hang in there, guys. We're almost there. Alrighty, it's done. Let's restart this bad boy. Come on now. You can do it. There we go. Must remove the media. And here is where you hit Control F. And we're back. Click on your username. Put in your difficult password, 123. And down here, when you click on your name, you have the option of Ubuntu, which has Wayland on it for the display server, or Ubuntu on Xorg. Wayland isn't there. I still consider it beta. Alright, hit enter. Strange animal. I listen to watch Louder and Crowder. I was watching that just a minute ago. Alright, let's get this up to where it needs to go. Okay. Super key, or the Windows key, will get you where you need to go. Click on display, type in display. And set this to your screen resolution. We're going to go to 1360 by 768 for me, because that's the screen resolution for my high def monitor. Click apply. Unless you want fractional scaling, I leave that alone. Alright, keep changes. There we are. Alrighty. Alrighty, back to the USB. Now, there's two ways you can do this. You can do Balana Etcher, which has a Linux installer. I mean, a Windows installer, excuse me, and a Linux installer, obviously. But you also have Etcher for Windows Portable. You can give that a try, and if it doesn't work, you can always download Rufus. Either way, just type in like Rufus and then go to rufus.ie or type in Balana Etcher and then just click on Balana Etcher and download the one you want to do. For me, we're going to do Balana Etcher. And I got to go find it, so I'll be right back. That was quick, right where I left it. I'm going to go ahead and run this in the terminal because last time it didn't want to do it normally for some reason. There's an issue with Ubuntu. So, get that bad boy like that. Open up the file browser again, grab and drag and drop that down to the terminal. I know there's a hotkey for that, but I can never remember it. You want to type in sudo before that, put in your password, and this way if there's any issues that you're having, it'll pop it up in the terminal so you can, there we go, now it moved, pop it up in the terminal, that way you can figure out what's going on with it. You want to take your USB, put it in your USB drive thing there so you can get to it. Alright. You want to flash from file. Alright. You want to navigate to where your ISO was downloaded to. Move mine here. There's too many Ubuntu's in the front. There we go. You want to select your target. Do not do your main hard drive. It'll warn you that's your system drive, but don't do that because if you do that, you're going to be in trouble. Click on your USB drive. It'll wipe it out and lock your system up, and then you'll have to borrow another computer in order to get an operating system on a USB drive and reinstall that way. Alright, select and then click flash. Now for Rufus, I can't do Rufus on Linux. That's a Windows only program, but I've used it on the wife's computer a couple of times when I had to rescue my computer when I messed something up bad, and it works pretty good. So after that, you just put it in, go into your BIOS, click boot from USB. You got to figure out where that is. I would recommend, here, let me show you. Come on. All right. Like my system is an Optiplex 390 BIOS. How to boot from USB. And this should bring up some stuff on your system that'll show you how to that'll walk you through it. Boot menu enhancements for, let's click on that one. Yeah, you can download it, manuals lib, if they have your system there. But yeah, that's pretty much how I do it on each system that I get my hands on. I look it up, and if I can't find the right flag to tick off or on, I'll look it up this way. And then you want to obviously wait for this to get done, leave it in your drive, reboot F12, F10, F1 are usually the culprits to get into your boot menus or into your BIOS. Future Steve here. I blew by the finishing of the flashing of the USB drive. I've included a screenshot of what it looks like, just for giggles. Alrighty, back to the regular scheduled program. Take that to boot from USB. And if you want UEFI, make sure that's ticked on, or if you want legacy, make sure the UEFI is ticked off. And that's pretty much it for getting Linux installed on, well, at least Ubuntu one there with the Calamares installer installed on a computer. Alrighty, y'all have fun. Take it easy, stay safe, and don't let the freaks get to you.